First of all, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for your time, Knox. It's an honor for me to
Oh,
have
you're welcome.
this talk with you. And I'm just gonna ask you some questions about your trajectory and also talking about the new album incoming.
Mhm.
So let's start. If you want to say hello,
Hello. So, where are you from?
I'm from Colombia. I'm from Colombia.
Colombia. Okay, cool.
So, so yeah.
Hello, Colombia.
So my first question it's about your origins as a band. I mean, I think you, Our Trip, and High Command are those bands who give us this new way of new sound in the crossover thrash, more hardcore, but with a very intense and metallic sound. What bands inspired you and the guys in the band, and how this influence directly in the sound that you produce?
I think we all have different influences and different senses of taste. Um, I mean, but we all kind of agree on, Sepultura, Demolition Hammer, Slayer, Exodus, Testament, just old school thrash. So I think us kind of guiding that way, but also bringing all of our specific little influences that we've picked up along the way as people, kind of twists it a little bit. It makes it a little bit more unique.
So this leads me to ask, what do you think about this separation between metal and hardcore scene? For you, is something necessary or healthy for the street music scene, or is meh?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like in Richmond, you really don't have that problem. There isn't really much
Mhm,
like two separate scenes. Like all a lot of the underground shows and stuff that we play are all kind of
mhm,
mixed bills. So if there's a punk band, a metal band, and a hardcore band can play a show together, and it's not that big
mhm.
of a deal. But I have noticed around the world, it's like very divided, and I don't understand why. Like if you like aggressive music, that's all aggressive. So what's
Yeah,
the big deal?
yeah,
It's
I don't
weird.
know. Here in Latin or Latin America, normally people separate the scenes. I don't know why. Probably because here is probably more politic. The scene is more politic than only music fan.
Really.
But yeah, but that's one of the reason. I don't know the others, but yeah, and that
Where do
and
you think that where do you think that comes from though?
I don't know, man. Probably about because our situation, our political situation is a little bit harder than in USA,
But
but
like to divide genres via politics is that's weird.
yeah, but I think it's sometimes like that because hardcore scene is more anarchism and something like that, and metal
Hmm.
music is probably more related with um left right or some people left
Hmm.
so yeah, it's difficult to say what is the origin, but I'm I think that it's one of the reason. Probably it's more reason, but for me,
Okay, that's
that
interesting.
is one of them.
Cool.
So moving on, did you think about it when you recorded this world or any of the albums you have done so far?
Say again. Was it hard?
Um, no, sorry.
It's okay.
And
Take your time.
I'm gonna ask you another question. It's better.
Okay.
Will, your partner in the band, previously said that Killgrid was a very methodical album in its composition. Do you think that this situation respond to the pressure of being part of a new record label, or was there some other reason for it?
I think there was a lot of pressure. Yeah, for sure. we really, since it's our debut record on a big label, like no pressure, right? Yeah, it was really intense. And so with Kill Grid, I think we kind of tried to accomplish as much as possible, and that with that record to kind of show everybody what we're, I guess, capable of. I don't know. Uh, and with War Remains, it wasn't like that at all because there was no pressure, and I think that kind of lifting that burden off of our shoulders um, helped a lot with the writing process and especially with recording.
Okay, so Kill Grid was also an album that came out in Century Media, that is one of the most important labels in the world. Related with the previous question, what changed in you and in the guys in the band for creating Kill Grid in comparison with these walls?
I think we just got more professional. We definitely got more serious about writing songs and writing records and having a certain look and feel and aesthetic as a band, as in general. I don't think before we even had any idea of what we were doing because it was just a band that we were having fun with.
Okay, perfect. So now I would like to ask you about some things of the new album. The new album is What Remains, and I have been lucky enough to listen to What Remains, and for me it's the perfect mix between your more aggressive side with the technical side. What changed or for you and the guys in the band to make this album more incisive and direct?
I think we just learned from all the mistakes that I think we saw with Kill Grid. There's a lot of long songs on Kill Grid. There's a lot of like background noises and like ambient noises and stuff like that throughout the record. And we realized we didn't need any of that. And so when it came to recording, it was simple and quick and easy. And I think we were done in about a week. So, I mean, Kill Grid took like a month and maybe like 6 weeks or something like that. But this one was just like, there's no reason to overthink this. There's no reason to constantly go back and change things. It's just play the songs, dude, and let's get out of here, kind of thing. So I think we've gotten better as musicians. We've gotten closer as friends and bandmates, and I think there's a high level of quality and a high level of trust that we all know what we're supposed to do, and there's no reason to kind of question what anyone's doing.
So for you, it was more funny than Kill Grid, or?
It was fun. I mean, it was easy. I wouldn't say it was funny, but it was just kind of, we had just finished a tour with At the Gates. And right when that finished, we immediately recorded and then went on a tour with On Death and 200 Stab Wounds. So there wasn't really time to even go back and fix things, even if we wanted to. So we just nailed it on the first tries, and we're just like, that's good enough. It sounds sick, and just left it at that. And I like how it turned out. It's very raw. It's very intense and gritty and dark and really aggressive. And that's how we sound live. I mean, that's just how we are. So it's a good representation of where we're at as a band as of right now.
Yeah. So right now we are here with What Remains. The concept around this album has to be with the dichotomies or something like that. But I would like to ask for a specific song, that is Mercy Killing Fields. the concept behind these songs, for me, it's very hard. I interpreted lyrics like the idea of denying the loss, even if I leads to the pain of other. So this situation for you has been the only situation in your life that you feel like this, or?
Kind of. I mean, it's it's a it's a personal. It's basically this is the only song I've ever written that's about me,
Mhm.
and it's about having to um take my cousin off of life support, and how that the moral judgment of right and wrong on that, or if that's good or bad. And then ultimately we didn't have to take her off life support, and she left the hospital, but then
Mhm.
2 days later she like fell down the stairs and died. So the idea was like, should I have taken her off life support
Mhm.
so she didn't have to die such a gruesome way? And that's what the whole song is about, pretty much.
Yeah, that's the reason for me that I think in the idea of denying the loss, even if it leads to the pain of others, you
Hmm.
know, it's like a
Yeah,
deny the
yeah,
loss.
yeah. I could have saved her from that pain if I had
Mhm.
taken her life. It's
Yeah,
it's it's weird, but I try to do it in the most honest and straightforward way. Um, and I knew it's some people may interpret it as like being really offensive, maybe, but it's not. Like I don't think
no,
it's offensive.
I
Yeah.
understand you. I passed for a similar situation with my grandma.
Hmm.
So yeah, that feel it's not a common feel, but
Yeah.
people who lives that situations probably feel in one
Understand.
time.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I know this is a very strange situation, but I know I can't be the only one who's ever gone through this before.
Mhm.
So I thought like I could probably connect with people with that one in particular.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So yeah, let's continue. So what remain? What's a great single and also an interesting. I'm also interested in the dichotomy between war and peace. You said that war and peace are ultimately the same. So for you, what are those points that they have in common?
Um, it's all conflict. The idea of the song I got from reading this book, A Terrible Love of War by James Hillman, who's a psychologist. And in the book, he tries to reason and understand why people fight and have been fighting, since the dawn of man. Like, why are we always trying to kill each other? And it's because we like doing it. And like it baked in your DNA is something like something almost dreamy or like mystified sense of death and honor and killing someone, and all this stuff is kind of, it's almost godlike in its effect on people. And peace peace is only defined by war. I mean, it's just a time when there's no war, so it's a negative.
Mhm.
Like it's peace is not inherent in human nature, um, but fighting is, conflict is. So times of peace is just times for prepping for another war. So there's no lack of war. It's just, okay, we're done with this one. Let's get all of our stuff back together and go do another one. Like it's kind of silly, um, to think that like humans are peaceful. We're just not. We're not. Um, we like people like nationalism, and people like tribalism, and people want to stick to their own and fuck everybody else kind of attitude. it's the same thing.
Mhm.
It's just inherent in your nature. So the only thing I was trying to explain is that it's like, I mean, nature is constantly at war with itself too. Like, you know, lions kill zebras, zebras kill grass, grass kills, you know, takes nutrients out of the soil. You know, it's all this constant cyclical nature of life and death. So don't think that war is necessarily this ultimate negative. It's just another cyclical nature of life. Life is war. So
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool idea. I would like to ask you for the name of the book again.
yeah, it's a terrible love of war.
Okay, cool.
It's got like a green cover.
I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, I read it a lot. It's a very hard book to read. It's it's a lot to take in.
It's a change life book, probably, or
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Mm, yeah.
okay, cool.
Changed mine.
So, um, can we expect any news of seeing you guys here in Latin America this year, or probably next year?
Not this year. We're booked up for tours for the rest of the year. Um, Next year is a better possibility. I know we're trying to think of going back to Europe. I would love to come to South America and Latin America. Um, I think there was talks about going to Australia, but I don't know if that's going to work or not. But we're slowly getting better at or getting offers and working with people in different parts of the world to actually get there for the first time ever. You know, so we're hoping to get there next year.
Okay, perfect. So finally, I have two more questions. First of them, it's if you are if you are listening new releases, um, which of them can you recommend and why?
New releases. Um, that new High Command LP is really good. Very
Yeah.
cool. I mean, I'm biased because we're friends, but it is a good record. That can't be
Yeah.
denied. Um, I don't know. Do you know? I don't really listen. I'm not listening to too much metal now because
Mhm.
we just finished the record where I'm constantly listening to my own songs and stuff. I don't know, I'm kind of over aggressive music right now. But this band, do you know the band Drug Church?
No.
Okay, I've been listening to a lot of Drug Church recently. I don't know why. It's just really catchy. It's stuck in my head.
Mhm.
So I'm just on repeat of their last album, Hygiene, and they put out a new single a couple months ago. Very good, catchy.
Okay, cool. And the last question is, if you have to compare your music to with a book, a movie, or any other art form that wasn't musical,
Wh-
what
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 would
it
it be?
be and why?
Well, the first thing that came to my head, I'll just go with that, is you ever seen the movie Bronson?
I think no. What is
Bronson, okay.
what is the director?
It's a I can't remember the director's name, but you know Tom Hardy, the actor?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of his first movies.
Okay.
He plays a prisoner who won't stop beating up and fighting everyone he sees. Um,
Okay.
and he's like the world's most violent prisoner. And all he does is just lift weights and do push-ups and just he's in solitary confinement forever. And every time they try and take him out and stuff, he just beats the shit out of everybody. So it's like this, he's like feral. He's not even like a human, he's like a dog. And I would equate that to us because we have this we're all nice guys and we're fun to hang out with and we're fun to talk to and stuff. But if you put us on stage, we're going to have this feral, intense aggression that we don't really have in our day-to-day lives, but it all just kind of exudes and comes out of us all at once. And it's very intense, at least for me. I don't know how everyone else thinks about it, but I like that.
Okay, cool. Recommend. I have a lot of recommends for you, and that's
Cool.
really cool. And yeah, I think it's enough. Thanks for your time again, Knox. And probably guys here, our audience. See you next time.
Absolutely. Hope so. Good to talk to you, Luis.